So there are 5 distinct features of inquiry base, okay, that we have to recognize, and there are 4 levels of inquiry-based instruction. So let's discuss first these 5 essential features, okay, of inquiry. First is that the learner should be engaged into scientific orientation questions. This is necessary. This is the prompt of everything. Okay. Then the second one is that we give priority to evidence in responding to the questions. That's why it is necessary that the students either to come up with a good argument, ways of reasoning, that when we say they have to argue, they have to reason out. So when they reason out, there should be evidence when they are explaining their thoughts or their processes, or we provide them learning activities that will give them or support their previous understanding or alter their previous understanding with certain as a form of evidence based on their learning sheets. Okay. The next essential feature of an inquiry base is that we have to provide ways for our students to formulate manners of explaining their evidence. That's why we also advocate the context of collaboration into our science and mathematics team. The main goal of collaborative learning is for them to perform the tasks, okay, and to come up with resolutions. The term is resolution. So when we say resolution, it's a unanimous decision on how the group were able to attain the results. And in their resolutions, they come up with ways of revising and presenting their explanation with backup evidences. Okay. And then the next feature is that learner connects explanation to scientific knowledge. It's not merely providing them evidences from their learning activities, but we have also to probe what specific scientific knowledge back up their explanation. Okay. And last will be the learner should communicate and justifies their explanation. Okay, it is necessary that we have to provide a certain section of our learning discourse that students will be sharing their thoughts, sharing what they have, their results of their learning activities in order for us to capture the level of their understanding and also to identify whether there are some items that they needed to recalibrate on other end. Okay, let me share with you one good strategy. Okay, that for these 4, for these 5 essential features of inquiry-based instruction be included in our instructional delivery, whether it is in the form of video, modules, or in the form of learning sheets, or even in our online synchronous sessions. Okay, a good example is the use of PEOE, where we ask our students to predict what will happen to a certain situation, and they have to explain why they have that kind of prediction. And then we give them manner to observe what will really happen and to explain what they have observed. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, a good colleague of mine, together with her advisee, come up with a study. You can check that. It's more of the PEOE of Bahar and Camacho, who have done that paper, probing the understanding of our students. Okay, at the same time, coming up with gauging manners, or gauging our students on how they are connecting their observations with the scientific knowledge that they are learning on that kind of learning environment. So again, you can use PEOE in developing your instructional materials on that as we proceed with this kind of learning modality. Okay, now inquiry base is based on our presentation, has 4 major levels: the confirmation theory, okay, the structured inquiry, the guided inquiry, and the open or through inquiry. It is defined in terms of their levels 1 to 4, where we see that the engagement of the teacher or the involvement of the teacher is very high for the first two levels and very low for the last three levels. Because as you can see in the open through inquiry, we just pose a problem and then the students will do everything. Okay, that is ideal to be given for students who have greater cognitive maturity. Therefore, for those students who are in the lower levels, grade levels, so we can come up with confirmation inquiry or structured inquiry form of instruction. And then maybe as they transition to grades 9 and 10 and even 11 and 12, guided inquiry can be presented and even open through inquiry. So I guess we have also to consider the cognitive maturity of our students when we are introducing inquiry-based instruction in our classes, okay? Sorry for that. So as you can see here, in the first level, the confirmation theory, we are just reinforcing the prior knowledge of our students. We wanted to benchmark from what they have learned and coming up with different steps and guided questions that would allow our students to follow and translate that into their own learning. So the guidance of the teacher are highly evident into this level. Okay, and then in the structured inquiry, we tend to provide sets of processes that the students will follow, but there are some items or points where the students will realize, where students are asked to reflect and the students are asked to define whether true or not the conditions, at the same time the conditions of their learning, or if these are said to be aligned or to their previous understanding, or if their previous understanding already changed to a better or more acceptable scientific knowledge. Okay, which is also part of open guided inquiry, but more or less we wanted we prompt research questions to our students, and then the students will come up with their own ways or mechanisms of doing the inquiry, and then on open and through inquiry, student does everything given a certain scenario only.